It is 10:30 at night. This is a Rockstar energy drink. Why am I drinking that at 10:30 at night? You may be asking. I'm doing something very stupid. Let me go get it for you. I said, it's spooky, scary season. What's something fun that I can do on my YouTube channel? This is what I came up with. This encyclopedia. This my cat. I said, this monstrosity of a book. Let's read that in 24 hours. If you don't know, House of Leaves is one of the most terrifying horror books known to man. I don't really know. It's basically a story within a story within a story. It's about a man named Johnny, who is just your average Joe Schmo, who comes across a manuscript from a man named, I don't even know his name, this old man who dies that his friend knows. They find this like obscene, crazy writing about a movie that seemingly does not exist called, I can't even pronounce it. What is it? The Navidson Records, I think is what it's called, which is a documentary about Will Navidson, his significant other, their two kids, who move into a country house in Virginia one day, and this house just is nonsense, craziness. They end up finding out that the house is bigger on the inside than it is on the outside, and it's just about the wild ride that partakes. Already, I'm on page 60. I don't even know how long this book technically is. I'm concerned. Basically, this old man, who was blind, by the way, don't even know. So he's dissecting this movie that doesn't exist, and then the old man is writing footnotes on that, and then our main character Johnny, who found this writing, is writing his footnotes on that, and then Johnny submits it to editors in New York just like randomly. So then you have the editor's footnotes on that. It's like all these people reading this one work about another work that doesn't exist, and you have to read like 4-page long footnotes from this man, and then you have to go back to the original. It's just, I'm already losing my mind, and I'm on page 60. I'm this far in. Like, this is the beginning. This is like, I'm annotating it to make sure that I know what's going on, and then eventually there's going to be pages that look crazy, and then there's going to be pages with things all marked out. My book is borderline like destroyed already because it was in a leak in the attic in one of the places we lived at, and so I decided I was going to not care that it's a little bit water damaged and there may be mold growing on it. I decided to ignore that. Yeah, I'm overwhelmed, to say the least, and I decided I'm going to read this in 24 hours. I'm already like 7 hours in. Honestly, I started at 3:30. I went to dinner, and then I came back and I read some more. It's probably only like 3-4 hours of actual reading time, but I'm hoping to finish this by 3 p.m. tomorrow. I don't know. I literally told my boyfriend that I'm doing this, and he looked at the book and he looked at me and he said, "Is that possible?" And I don't know if it really is. I really don't. It feels like a textbook. It reads like a textbook at times. It's a lot, and I'm going to bring you along with me on this wild journey, and I hope you enjoy my pain. I already don't want to do this, is the problem. So I'm gonna drink my Rockstar, I'm gonna read my book, and I'm gonna have an interesting night. Yeah. It is 7:46 in the morning now. I fell asleep probably like 1:30 after reading this book for like hours, and I last saw you, I was on page 60. I'm only now on page 74 technically, right? That's not technically true, because I also read this whole section in the back, which if you read the book, it's kind of spoilery, I guess. I don't really know. But basically, they're just letters that somebody wrote to one of the characters, and it's to better understand the character, I guess. It's basically somebody going mad in a mental institution. And I genuinely had to like decode things. Do you see this? For multiple pages. This book is wild, and it also did freak me out. Originally with this challenge, I wanted to also be like watching horror movies in the background as I'm reading, and I decided that I was already so freaked out by the book that was just going to send me over the edge. Like, I wasn't going to sleep for a week, kind of a thing. So we're not doing that anymore. I just put on like Halloween ASMR ambiance in the back, and even that, I was like, who? What is that? Like, it was scary. So it's 7:48 in the morning. I have so much left of the book, is really my problem right now. So I have to go read. Like, I can't really talk. I have to just go do it. My makeup, still from yesterday. I got this coffee, right? And it was such a pretty Halloween beverage. And then I mixed it by accident. I didn't even think about it. And now it doesn't look, it's the peanut butter cup macchiato from Dunkin' Donuts. I'm gonna put a picture of how beautiful it is originally, so you know that I tried to do like a Halloween spooky drink. There you go. Update is very good. Anyways, so I'm gonna drink that. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna keep going. At this point, it's kind of like a, let's see how fast I can read this thing. Like, let's see if it's even possible to finish it, because my brain is broken. I don't know if you can tell. Like, look at these annotations. I've never had a book that I've annotated front, back, sideways, like, and I keep getting lost. That's another thing. I keep getting lost because you read the book, the actual physical book, and then there's a footnote that's like 7 pages long, and then you have to go back to the original book, and I keep like forgetting my original place, so I keep missing things. It's so much. It's a lot, but I'm like genuinely invested, and I'm really enjoying myself right now. So I'm gonna read, and I shall talk to you later. I'm probably gonna go to my mom's, get breakfast. You know the deal. Okay, let's go. Okay, so hear me out. I am this far through. I read this much, but I also read like this much. So I have like this much left. I think I have like 200 pages. This book is ow, but it's also really good. Like, I do really, really like it. It's so hard to explain the tone of this book because it's multiple tones. I feel like it is both, it's a mix between Fight Club, a movie review, and like Paranormal Activity if there were no like real ghosts. I don't know how else to like describe this. I genuinely feel like my brain can't compute anymore. I'm finding it very hard to talk about because it is what it is. It is so wild of a trip, of a ride, of wherever I'm going, I don't know. But there's gonna be a million hallways on the way there. I have been freaked out. I have been creeped out. When I sleep, if I'm alone, I have to close all of the doors. And I can't explain to you why. If there's a dark hallway, I don't like it anymore. Yeah, it's definitely atmospheric. I can definitely picture exactly what's happening as if it were a documentary. Ooh, very like Blair Witchy because it's all like handheld camcorder type filming in the movie. But so much. I can't even. That's how, this is how I feel about it, is like this, it does it to you. Like, I have so many tabs. Like, it looks like I read the whole thing. I have not. So, I'm reading. I'm sitting down and I'm reading for hours today. And then I will tell you my final thoughts. I've literally been taking notes. I've, like, extensive notes, like, throughout. Like, do you see that? Like, just to keep things straight. But I've also been taking, like, little notes on, like, my thoughts about the experience and the book in general. So I'm going to discuss it all with you, and I'm going to be telling you my thoughts on whether or not you should be reading this, putting yourself through it, what kind of mindset you need to be in to read, because you really need to be in a mindset. And, yeah, so I'm going to be reading this tonight, and I will update you next time something exciting happens. Okay, update. I've been reading for like an hour and a half. I'm on page 338. My eye is literally twitching. It stopped, of course, as soon as I talk about it, but it's literally twitching. My brain hurts. Like, this book is just, it's wild. Look at these notes that I've like recently taken. It's Insanity. Insanity. Wild. Like a 5-minute break and make some tea. And I will get back to it. I need to sleep. I can't. I gotta try again tomorrow. This book, like, I've been reading for hours. It's so much. Oh my goodness. I can't. I don't even have like a coherent thought in my brain. I don't know why I thought I could read this in 24 hours, because clearly this book was not written for that. Not at all. I will check back with you later. Okay, so update on reading this freaking book. I'm like very close to finishing it, but I don't know if I'm going to, because it tried to murder me. I literally have like a hospital bracelet. Went to the ER last night. I've been having really bad stomach issues since the day I started reading that book. And it's like too much of a coincidence. It really is. Because I would like be sitting down reading that book and I'd be sitting there for hours and my head would feel so jumbled and then my stomach would start hurting. And I was just like, oh, weird. I thought I ate something bad. Like, I don't know. I thought it was food poisoning. It has not gone away since the day I started reading that book. And it's because of these stomach issues that it was taking me so long to read the book. Like, I really wanted to read it in 24 hours. Update, I don't think that's possible. If you can read this book in 24 hours, that's on you. Like, you go. I was really into it. I was really liking it. I was annotating it. I was so just invested in that book. And I don't know. I need to sage it. I felt horrible. And the only thing that I could think of was that I started reading that book. And because of that, I think I'm going to put that down for a little while, maybe forever. I've never experienced something quite like that. It was insane. And I was having like wild dreams about it. Like, I don't know. Literally everybody that I told about this book to, as soon as I was getting sick, they were like, thinking back to it, they're like, wait, didn't you like start reading that book around the same time, that crazy book you're talking about where people like go crazy in it? And I'm like, you know, I was. Like, this sounds insane too. And honestly, I don't know like what I'm gonna do about it. I'm so sorry if this is not the outcome you wanted. I highly recommend the book. I thought it was really good. I thought that the layers within layers of the book matched the plot of the book, and the Davidson record in general was so interesting. I like how you could, like, you were having to decode things, translate things. You were to have to like remember these key points that kept coming up. I had so many notes on this book. Yeah, I like seeing the parallels between all of the different narratives, I guess you could call it. The book is constantly telling you something and I'm like, what are you trying to tell me? It's really like a bad dream is what that book is. Like a bad, weird dream that you're like 7 layers in, and it's like Inception and you're just trying to stay alive. There's a lot of like missing text. Like, it's very much unreliable narrator for many different reasons. Mental health wise, all of the narrators are unreliable. The narration style is constantly just missing or burnt, or whatever. The actual material that it was written on originally has been partially destroyed, so you only partially get the actual story that's happening. You feel yourself getting lost in the book the same way that these characters are getting lost in the house. It's definitely reads like a textbook. It's really hard to concentrate on and wrap your head around, and it's definitely like pretentious, and it's because it's basically an old man analyzing this movie. But if you think about it, this old man is blind. How can he analyze these scenes the way that he's doing? Like, that was always the part where I'm like, he'd be saying something wild, very analytical, very pretentious, very much like way too in detail that nobody needs, very boring. But the whole time I'm like, this man is blind. How is it that he can go into so much detail? How do you do that? So that was really interesting. Mind you, I also don't know the ending, so I don't know how everything connects. I'm about to just read like people's, what's it called? Like their theories on it and stuff, and just have them figure it out. That's pretty much it, but I did enjoy my reading experience. Did I end up like very sick with a viral infection? Yes, I did. Do I think that the book caused it? A little bit. A little bit. I think psychologically it just like beat me down. My immune system could not keep up. I have no idea. I've never experienced that. I also very much mental health wise felt affected by it. There's a lot of trigger warnings in there, I would say. And yeah, I would say read at your own risk. Please look up the trigger warnings. Please go within yourself and see if you are mentally capable of reading this book. And yeah, otherwise though, like, it's kind of a 5 out of 5 because for a book to almost kill me, I don't even have to finish it. Like, that's just wow. Like, you did that. Mark Z. Danielowski, you freaking did it. And that just shows like the power of words. So kind of loved it, kind of hated it. I don't really know. It's kind of like funny, but not haha funny, like I'm gonna die a little bit, but that's okay. Like, I look horrendous and I felt horrendous for like a week. So yeah, I had fun though.